Oh, you blew a speaker. You ready?
We're live.
Bow, bow. Look, bow. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chad Arms, a.k.a. Chatty Bobby. Level 40.
Man, it makes it tough for me every time. My name is Tony, a.k.a. Friday the 14th. And then we got a third person in with us, too.
You already know what it is. Hot Mike Chance is in the building.
Woo! HMC.
He kept it simple, unlike us two on that one.
Keep it simple. Kind of chance.
Just
Simple kind of chance.
The man of many nicknames.
He is, dude. We named him one off camera. Hollywood Mike Chance.
Yeah, that's coming for future wrestling episodes.
Future wrestling.
Did I say future or
No, I
future?
was going to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here we go.
we're back, guys. Over the top with Chad and Tony. Brought to you by Nixon Pro Media, Revolution One Media, and Trouble Spirits. Get yourself sloshed with Trouble Spirits.
It's good for you. Get you a little gin and tonic.
Get your slow gin fizz real quick.
That's a good one.
Smoke you a stogie and fucking eat you some Fig Newtons.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
Bam.
We're back. Trouble Spirits. There's your drop, Ryan. Shout out.
Shout out, boy.
But yeah, man, we're back, dude.
What
we're
is
still
this?
not canceled.
Nope.
This is episode 18. I think.
18. We're almost to 20.
Look.
We're
you know
getting
what's
closer to
crazy?
drinking
Our
age.
podcast can go to war, motherfuckers.
We can. We can't buy cigarettes anymore in the state of Tennessee.
You can buy fireworks. You can buy a one-way ticket to Afghanistan to fight for your country.
Yep.
But you can't buy Newports,
Nope.
shorts in a box.
Nope.
You can't. Or you can't buy
some Copenhagen.
Twisted Tea. You can't even buy Copenhagen.
Can't buy Copenhagen right now
Explain to me why you have to be 21 to buy nicotine.
because we're in the state of Tennessee.
Is it just Tennessee?
Well, I'm sure it is, but I think here recently in the last couple of years, the state of Tennessee went to the age of 21 to buy tobacco as well as
So how old you got to be to buy a gun?
18.
Okay, can we explain that? Look,
No.
I'm all about whatever, America. But look, if you're going to say that we can go buy a handgun,
Yep, but you can't go buy some
but we can't go buy a
Copenhagen.
cigarette or some fucking Grizzly wintergreen.
That's good. That's not
pouches.
What I do. Yeah. See, I do the Copenhagen makes
That's
you
what I think
feel
Leroy
so
does.
good.
Grizzly wintergreens.
Copenhagen, the way I know it should.
Okay.
That's a little Chris Ledoux right there.
Little Chris Ledoux shout out. Shout out to 90s country, the
Yeah, that's
best
right.
country. We need to do an
Ever.
episode about 90s country one day.
I am so down for it.
Dude,
Your
time
repertoire
marches
of
on.
90s country and 90s MLB baseball.
Dude, we can do it, dude. Shout out
That'd
to
be
my
a hell of an
Braves.
episode.
Just slap kicking the entire National League.
Dude. What about
We
the
may
whole
beat y'all's squad in the series, man. We'll pick it up.
But what about your whole infield is in the All-Star game?
They were making me mad as fuck that they were going. That Matt Olson didn't make the starters, but then he's on there now.
Yeah, he's. I told you he'd make the and the whole Albies made it as he's not a starter, but he made it on the team, and the same with
Strider,
and Wright.
Kyle
Third,
Wright.
yeah, Kyle Wright, the third baseman. What's
Oh
his
no,
name?
you're talking about Austin Riley.
Yeah, Austin Riley.
Beast.
Way off. But yeah, he made the All-Star team.
Way
too.
off. I knew it started with an S though.
But I tell you what, they have the best infield coach in baseball, Ron Washington. He
Yeah.
used to be the
dude.
coach.
He looks like Teddy Long. I
Well,
love him.
did you ever hear why he got fired from the Texas, being the manager of the Texas Rangers?
No, did he spit on somebody?
No, he was bumping lines in the clubhouse.
Hey, shout out. That
That's
sounds like
a
Teddy
legit
Long's
story.
brother, bro.
Yeah, but it's legit. Like, he took the Texas Rangers to the 2 World Series in the early 2000s, and then he got busted for bumping some lines in the clubhouse.
He was bumping over.
But now he's like one of the best assistant coaches in Major League Baseball.
Oh, dude, and I love how I forgot what Instagram page it was, but one of the times the Braves were playing and they hit a home run, Ozuna hit a home run, right?
Yeah.
He was rounding third, and he does like a little handshake.
Yeah.
Well, it was playing a clip where it was the team that he hit the homer against, announcers that was announcing, and they got so mad that
Yeah.
he gave it a 5 to Ron Washington.
Yeah.
I'm like,
have some fun. It's a game. It's
fucking
called it's a game.
trying to lampshade somebody's shine, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Come
Go
on,
fuck
man.
yourself.
Ron Washington is a fun coach to watch.
So
though.
is Ron White. Ron White's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Way to
we're
mix
back,
those two
guys.
up.
This is a podcast, and we
Yeah.
talk movies.
We ramble a lot though too. So
Dude, this is what it's about, man. You know what I've realized? Since we moved over here, we would go straight into the episodes just right off jump.
yeah, just
But
right
the
in there.
banter, honestly, the pre-episode banter
It's fun.
is the best part
Yeah,
of it.
just
It's
rambling
the best
on.
part of waking up.
Ramble on.
Folks, Deja vu is in
Hey,
your
shout out to the
cup.
ice cream store next door for his energy drink he's got. What did they call
Well,
this
I
thing?
needed something.
a
I
little
needed a
pep
little
up.
pick me up because me and Mel have had a busy week. And I said, "Do y'all got energy drinks here?" And they go, "Well, we make our own. It's called a Move energy drink." I was like, "Pick it up."
Pick them up. And they asked you, and they also asked you if you wanted sugar free.
Yeah, and I said, "Who am I?
Who am I, Chance Richardson?
Who am I?
Hey,
Who am I? No sugar chance? No, sir. Give me that diabetes."
I did eat 2 cookies, so
Oh,
there's that. That's a
dude.
confession.
Whoa.
In the words of Aerosmith, "We're living on the edge. You can't
But-
tell yourself off."
Who can honestly?
But it was to celebrate America's birthday.
But who can honestly say I only ate
America.
2 cookies? He's got more willpower than I do because I cannot sit there and honestly say that I ate.
And one was a sugar cookie.
God, just the most bland.
I love me a sugar cookie,
Okay, fuck.
like fresh hot sugar cookies, man. Especially like the Pillsbury, like the cheapo, like the holiday ones they put out for the holidays with like the little designs on them.
Mm-hmm.
Those little sugar. When you catch those things out of the oven,
Mm-hmm.
man, it'll give you with a cold glass of milk, Millie.
Now, if I
Shout
could
out
just
milk.
get me one with some candy corn in there, we'll be good to go.
Chance, shut up with that mess.
Dude.
Why'd you
this
have
point-
to ruin it with candy corn?
Can't explain. Look, here's your platform.
Okay, yes.
Explain candy corn and why you like it, and don't say it's good. It's
You
not
don't,
good.
you don't like chewing on wax?
No, dude.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like the texture of that. It's just, and then the taste. It's just like butterscotch mixed with ass.
It's a nostalgia factor.
I
I
don't
grew
give
up
you-
in the
what does that
nations.
mean?
I grew up in the nations, and we didn't get the good candy. You were lucky if you got the candy corn on Halloween. So I mean, that was a delicacy back then.
Did y'all get
Okay, back then, yeah, but I'm talking about now. Like you can still eat.
You're a
candy
grown
corn
adult now and you
as a
still eat
grown
candy
man?
corn?
It's a acquired taste.
Let me guess. You like
But
the
why,
little,
what's the acquiring?
let me guess. You like the little candies that you remember the
door
little.
stoppers,
Is that the ones that like?
orange and black.
No.
No,
the
the orange peanuts.
No, I'm talking
Circus
about
peanuts
the
are
little,
the worst. That's another top of my list. Circus peanuts go fucking jump off a goddamn
nasty.
cliff,
And
front
licorice.
face first.
fucking black licorice.
Black licorice, orange and black doorstop candy that nobody knew what it was. Nobody even
Let me
opened
guess.
it.
I'm assuming Chance is a black licorice fan too. Okay, good.
No.
Thank you, Chance.
I don't go that far.
Whew, that's just who eats black like Twizzlers. Okay, that's about as far as licorice that I go with. But who can honestly say that they like licorice?
Dude, 90-year-old people.
Yeah, okay. But the candy that I was talking about, remember the little strawberry candy that would come like in the little.
Oh, I like those. Now, there's an old man candy.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten one in fucking
Yeah,
15
but
years.
it'd get like after you suck on it a little bit, it gets soft. And that's what she said. But
Whoa.
I had to give myself on that one. But
Yeah.
that and Werther's, I'll get down with some Werther's.
Yeah, I mean, there's
originals.
not some old man candies.
candy
I get
corn?
down. OMC, there's some OMCs out there that I'll fuck with, but one of the OMCs I will not fuck with is Bit-O Honey.
I've never even heard of Bit-O.
Yes,
honey.
you have. It's the
Oh,
Cracker
is
Barrel.
that the white? Is that like the white candy?
It's like it's like in
similar.
like a black and
Yep.
like white packaging.
Yeah,
It's-
okay,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
only
okay.
buy it exclusively at Cracker Barrel, probably.
and zero bars. Who eats zero bars?
Zagnut. Other than Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice. Who else? Who have you ever seen eating a Zagnut?
I tell you another one that I hate: the Mounds, the coconut candy bars. What are those? The Mounds.
Mel loves coconut.
I see. I don't do coconut. Coconut.
No
I'm
fruit.
like, I'm not a
no
co-
fruit in any
Here's
dessert.
my thing. I like the flavor and I like the smell of coconut, but the texture is like fingernails.
Oh no.
Does it feel like fingernails to you?
I
Like if you chewed on your fingernails, it's like if you eat
probably
coconut?
so. Yeah. I don't eat raw coconut. No.
No, but I mean like if coconut's like on top of
well,
like a
speaking
cake
of
or
one of our
something.
sponsors, Ryan, he has like coconut trees in his yard and everything. He's a coconut connoisseur. If you want, if you
a CC.
he's a CC, a coconut connoisseur.
Ryan, you are a CC, a coconut.
And if,
is it connoisseur? Or
He almost
carnosaur?
chopped off his foot cutting down coconuts the other day too. So I don't know if he
dude,
wants that
be
out there,
careful-
but
be careful.
it's out there now. You're welcome, bud.
Be careful.
Whoa, be careful.
Okay, guys, we're back.
Okay,
Episode
what are we
18.
talking about today?
We're talking about horror. Do you say horror or horror?
I guess it depends on how country I want to be that day. We're talking about some horror movies or some horror movies.
Yeah,
I guess
horror movies. I say horror movies because when I say horror, it's not like I'm talking about whores, like WHO.
Yeah, we ain't talking about them. We're talking about horror.
I mean, there are whores in horror movies.
Yes, there are. What pronunciates the two R's in there? Horror.
Shout out to pronunciates.
Yeah.
We're talking about horror anthology movies, man. There's a good little list that the hardworking man Friday the 14th has compiled for us.
Yeah, there's a lot on this list that I haven't seen. I thought I
Same here.
watched a lot of horror anthology movies, but I was a little wrong on that.
But there's still a good chunk that we have seen.
Yeah. There's a good chunk that we have seen, and then there's some that, like I said, I haven't seen that I went through some lists and everything that need to be brought up on this list because I guess we'll just get right into it.
I tell you what.
Go ahead.
I love me a good horror anthology.
Do you?
Yeah, man. What about you, Chance?
I haven't seen a whole lot of the ones that are on the list, but the ones I have seen, I've enjoyed them.
But you get down with some anthologies?
Yeah.
I like horror anthologies just because you get a mix of different things all in one movie.
It's easier to digest the movies, I feel like.
Yeah,
when
and
they're
I
in
really like the
15-minute
ones
chunks
that have
or whatever.
Yeah, and I really like the ones that wrap themselves up in each other. and everything.
It cuts out all the extra stuff that you get that you really don't need in a feature film.
Look at you. Look at him go. Hot mic. That's why we got a mic on that
Dude,
man.
stay tuned, dude. We're going to have Hollywood Mike Chance soon.
Yeah, and he's going to be on camera.
Yeah, dude. We're working on some other stuff. We got some guests coming up in future episodes.
Yep, we're all ready for guests now and everything.
Yeah,
so.
we finally are getting our stuff together. Get our stuff together.
Boom. Big things coming.
Horror anthologies. All right, we're just going to go. Now, is this list in order of
It's not in chronological. I don't know what word that was about to come out right there, but no, I didn't do it. I missed it again. It's not in by date. We'll just say that. I can't get that word out. What is it? What is the word called? Somebody help me out.
I would enjoy to help you, but it's not
You
going
know
to
how
happen.
to say it?
Chronological.
Thank you. It's not in that order.
While you were doing that, did you see me flip the bottle up and catch it? I just thought to myself, that was a Kroger water bottle. It easily could have exploded when
I totally missed all that because I was focused on trying to say that word and everything.
still didn't say it.
And I totally missed. Did you catch it?
I caught it, yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
have-
I saw it go off camera that way.
Yeah.
But-
Shout out to Nixon Pro Media.
But Nixon Pro Media always the best with the studio access. But we'll get right into horror anthologies. Bam! Here we go. This one you got to bring that I came across. I've never seen it, never even heard of it before. But every list that I was going through and everything, this one, quote unquote, was maybe the first horror anthology to ever come out, and it's called Dead at Night, and it came out in 1945. I believe it has to do with like a little puppet, a little ventriloquist puppet thing. That's
Okay.
about the extent I know of it, but it was on a lot. You got to mention it when horror anthologies. I guess you got to mention the first one that came out.
Yeah, 1945. I wonder if it's on. Well, I'm not going to watch that.
I'm not going to watch that.
Fucking black and white horror movie anthology about puppets and shit. Like,
I'm going to be honest going into this list. There's
watch
not
Star Wars.
There's not many movies from the 70s, especially when it comes to horror.
You
and
love
everything.
70s horror, dude.
There's some that I like, but for the most part, the 70s is a little too dated
It's
for
tough.
me.
It's tough. I mean, other than your classics, there's not a ton that I've seen in the
Yeah.
70s. But yeah, Dead at Night or Dead of Night, 1945.
Yep. And then you have one Black Sabbath that came out in 1963. I have heard of this one, but the
have
little
too.
fun fact with this one is that Ozzy Osbourne and the Black Sabbath band were such fans of this movie that they named the band after the movie,
Oh,
the
dope.
band Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I wonder. I've
That's
heard
why
of
I
it.
threw that one in there.
Yeah, I've heard of that movie, but it's another one that I never have seen. This next one, I'm not even going to try to.
And it's one that I noticed on a lot. It's probably got the most praise as being one of the best horror anthology film wise when it comes to film making, not movies. When it comes to the fanciness that films and all that stuff, but I believe if I'm pronouncing it right, it's called Kwaidan.
Okay.
It's a Japanese horror anthology, but they say the filmmaking of it, the way it's shot and all that stuff is supposed to be pretty spectacular. And it came out in 1965. They say it's supposed to be pretty creepy. I don't know. It's too dated for me. I'll never watch it.
Well, but the only thing about it,
But you
that
gotta give it
seems-
props.
That seems like somewhat interesting for me is that it's a Japanese horror movie, and
Yeah.
those movies are terrifying.
And that's one thing that I read about it too. It's super creepy, and the stories are all
And I imagine like a 60s Japanese horror movie is probably really scary. Like,
yeah. And
from like just
you got to go through subtitles with it. So, but
I speak fluent Japanese.
do
but,
you? Let me
well,
hear it. Let me test it.
When this is being filmed on a Thursday, I do not speak Japanese on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Makes
So,
sense.
It's just something it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
shout out to Qui-Don.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think you said it right there.
Yeah, dude.
And then you got the next one right here. I think we both have seen this one, Trilogy of Terror from 1975.
Yeah, I think Kibo put that out.
Yeah,
We
they
all
did.
got it. It's got a couple of those. There's a couple of Trilogy of Terrors, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's two of them total.
We've watched
this-
them both. I think.
Yeah,
They just remember being them okay.
It's just because it's from 1975. It's another one of those mid 70 ones. It's only 3 stories.
Low budget.
Yeah, and the story for an anthology, the stories go a little too long for me. The only thing I really recall from it is the little
doll. That's the
at
only thing
end of
I
movie.
remember about the movies and at all.
Yeah.
That is the little weird doll.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Trilogy of Terror. If you want to watch it, it's probably streaming on something, or if you want to get it a physical release, get it from Kibo.
Yeah, Kibo Lorber.
We love them.
It's actually Kino Lorber, and we fucking know that.
Yeah.
We call it Kibo because we want to. This next one is it's probably touted as one of the best horror anthologies. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there.
It's up there. Yeah, and it's one that's typically watched around Halloween.
Yeah, we
'Cause
watch it every year.
Yeah.
You and Jordan do.
It's Trick or Treat from 2007.
Hopefully it gets a 4K from screen.
I'll gladly take
sure
that.
it will at some point.
Sam has turned into, from one movie, has turned into a horror icon, which is hard to believe.
Yeah. What's your favorite story in that one?
Probably the bus,
Yeah.
the kids with the bus. It's so creepy, and it's such a terrible story about what it's based around, but it's so creepy and all that. But I like the werewolf one with what's her name from True Blood, Anna Paquin, I think's her name. The whole werewolf one, that the transformation scene is dope in that.
There wasn't a bad story in that one.
No.
They were all solid.
Yeah,
Like,
and then like I said, I like the beginning with the candy and all that stuff. It's just solid.
and
all the
I
way
love the
around.
effects in it too.
Yeah, it's all practical.
Yeah, it's all practical stuff, which is dope. It's always refreshing for that. From 2007.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you that it hasn't gotten a sequel or another like?
I'm really surprised because
with
there's
the
some of
success
these
of
that
it?
have gotten a sequel that
Should not have.
should not have gotten a
It
sequel.
wasn't near as popular. Or,
But I have read about this that it completely bombed at the box office when it came out, like completely bombed, and then gained a cult following. But it makes it even better that it's all based around Halloween too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
took me a while to watch it. I didn't watch it, until probably a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it.
You like it?
Yeah.
What would be your favorite one? Same one, the bus one?
Yeah, and the one with the principal and the kid.
Yeah.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
And that's another one that wraps itself around to each other within itself and everything. So yeah, it's an absolute classic when it comes to horror movies, and it has to be at the top of the list when it comes to horror anthologies.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be up there. If you did a poll, I would assume that Trick or Treat's probably going to be in that top 3 or 5 horror anthologies with pretty much every list you come across.
I agree.
Then we've got one of the GOAT anthologies, 1982 Creep Show.
Yes, you got a couple of Stephen King shorts in there.
Sure.
You got the Father's Day, the first story, the Father's Day one with the zombie dad and all that. When he comes in with the chick's head on the plate for Father's Day.
Yeah.
And then you actually have Stephen King in the movie with the one short with what is it, the asteroid that hits, and then he starts turning into a plant.
It's like a plant. What do you think of that one?
It was a little boring.
Yeah.
But like it comes down to I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about another one of his movies here in a minute that I wasn't a fan of. But I can get why people love Stephen King. I get that, but it's just not he just doesn't hit home with me.
Yeah. What about the Crate one? What do you think of
The
that
crate one is probably my favorite story with Fluffy.
Yeah,
Is
with
the
Fluffy,
monster in
yeah.
the crate. That's probably my favorite story out of the first Creep Show.
I think the The one with Leslie Nielsen.
The Father's Day one.
Yeah, the Father's Day
Yeah.
was my favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's just weird to see Leslie Nielsen in that. Like because whenever I first saw Creepshow, it wasn't when it came out because that was before I was born. But when I saw it, I had already seen like the Naked Gun movies and the Dracula, like all those like Leslie Nielsen spoof movies. So seeing him in that, it was just kind of cool because when I was younger, I was like, man, I'm not used to seeing him like this, Yep. But I thought that one was creepy. But yeah, Creepshow's probably. I mean, I would think that that's definitely.
It's got to be
a
up
lot
there.
of people's favorites.
It's
in that list.
Exactly.
And of course, next one.
You got Creepshow 2 that came out 5 years later in 87. You get a couple good stories in that one. You got the raft story where they're at the camp, and the stuff in the water is pretty much eating them and everything. You got the hitchhiker short in that one, and you got I forget what the wooden chief. I forget what the wooden peckerhead. Well, maybe we'll call him.
The Wooden Peckerhead.
We'll call him Chief Wooden Peckerhead. But that story.
Old Chief Woodenhead.
Chief Woodenhead.
Chief Woodenhead.
Yeah.
I think the Hitchhiker is probably my favorite one on part 2.
I like the raft. The raft
the
one's
raft.
probably my favorite out of that one.
Yeah, that one's dope too.
Yeah, I like Creepshow and Creepshow 2 are solid to me, but I haven't seen Creepshow 3, but I've heard it's absolute garbage.
And Scream Factory's putting that out. We noticed it's like an exclusive. Like I'm just like, golly, bro.
Yeah, I've heard
I
nothing.
didn't even know that it existed.
Yeah, I've heard
Skaggs
nothing
may have
good
told
out.
me years ago that it was the third one, but if he did, he would have said it was terrible.
And I like the what do they call him? The Creeper. The whole Creeper character or whatever the thing is from the in between the shorts and all that stuff. He's solid.
Yeah,
Creepy looking.
definitely creepy. Look, did Creepshow 2 get a 4K from Arrow yet?
I don't think so.
I know
think
I
it's
just got the
regular blue.
Creepshow Scream Factory.
Yes,
4K.
I picked
need
it
to
up as
rewatch
well.
that one. Once it gets closer to Halloween, which is not far.
No, that's the next big holiday.
Yeah, it is.
And
dude.
now that we're through 4th of July, the next big
We're gonna look
holiday is
up,
Halloween,
it's
baby.
Gonna be October.
Yep. And then we got one from 1990, Tales from the Dark Side,
Yeah.
which I was super late to see in this one.
So was I. We didn't see it till
Until
we got
Scream
the Scream.
the Scream Factory edition put out. It has a lot of people in it. Steve Buscemi's in one of the stories. In the first one with the whole, they're at the college with the mummy. He tries to resurrect the mummy to kill the people.
Yep.
And then the cat, the cat short.
The crazy pussycat.
Yeah, where it goes down that one dude's throat and everything.
God, that was fucking graphic, dude.
But probably my favorite story out of that one is the whole another hard word for me.
Gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
The gargoyle. Yeah.
Gargoyle. Yes, that short's probably my favorite. Super creepy. Where the dude, he's like an artist or something.
The lady like get turned back into one.
Yeah, because he witnesses a murder and everything, and the gargoyle tells him if he never, he'll let him, the gargoyle will let him live if he never says anything about it. And then he comes across that chick, and then they get married, have kids.
And he starts pillow talking.
And then he starts pillow talking and tells the wife, and then she turns into the gargoyle because the only way that she could stay a human is if he didn't bring it up.
And he couldn't fucking keep his mouth shut.
Couldn't keep his mouth shut, so he turned his
Snitches
kids.
get stitches, dude. You know what I mean?
And he got his throat bitten out, pretty much. But the practical effects in that movie are great.
Yeah.
It's from what I say, 1990. So yeah, right there in primo time.
And wasn't there a sequel to that? Isn't there a Tales from the Dark Side 2, or am I tripping?
I don't know. There may be. I don't know. Chance, you looking that up?
Yep.
Boom.
On it.
Look at him.
Next
That's
up
the next
from-
thing we need to get is like a little laptop or a tablet.
Yeah, we do. We need to bring Chance a tablet.
Yep.
I'd bring him my iPad, but he hates Apple products.
Yeah. Chance is totally against the Apple.
They were going to make a sequel, but canceled it, I believe.
Canceled it. Okay.
Boom.
Now, was the first one? Was it? It wasn't a made for TV movie.
No, I think it was I think there was a Tales from the Dark Side TV show.
That's what That's what
and
it
then
was.
they turned it. They made a movie.
Okay. I
if
knew it
I'm
was
not
some kind of
mistaken.
TV something attached to that.
Yeah, I think there was originally a Tales from the Dark Side show, and then kind of like another one we'll be talking about here later. There was a TV show, then they made a movie out of the TV show.
Yeah.
So
Next up, from 1995, we have Tales from the Hood.
Oh, I was off of my day. I put 2000.
2005. Yeah. That's all good.
1995.
You meant 1995.
Lord have mercy. But yeah, classic.
Classic for sure, son. They've made some sequels since that have been dreadful.
Yeah, two was bad, and I didn't even waste my time with 3.
Yeah, and this one, all the Tales from the Hood, like storylines are all like race driven. Mm-hmm. I know the original one you had, and then of course you had the whole wraparound story.
Yeah. What was his name that played the caretaker, and when he ends up being Satan or the devil?
He also was in. We've already talked about this guy multiple times because he was in American Gangster.
Yes, he played Bumpy.
He played Bumpy Johnson.
Clarence Williams III.
Clarence Williams III. Yep.
Dang. Hot Mike Chance coming in.
Shout out to Hot Google Chance.
Hot Google Chance. Thank you, Chance. But
yeah, you had the little dolls one. Was one of the stories in that? I remember.
Yeah, with the racist KKK governor and stuff like that, and he got every bit of what came after him. Mm-hmm. And then I like the whole wraparound story with the 3 guys that they were dead the whole time. They were just in hell. Yep. Pretty much.
That's what I love. So what I love about Tales from the Hood, not only is it just a dope like hood horror movie, which is very hard to do. There hasn't been a lot of horror movies like that are like hood movies, like that are horror movies too, that are good.
Yes,
it's like Leprechaun in the Hood, or it's like
Snoop Dogg came out with a horror anthology too. I watched it.
Would you consider Bones like? Would that be considered like a hood horror movie kind of?
Oh yeah. Bones
that's
definitely. Yeah,
Bones. Like Bones.
Bones is solid.
But that's what I like about the first Tales from the Hood is that they were able to do both, because that was in that mid '90s time frame when Friday. That may have been before Friday, because I think Friday was like 95 or 96. It was around that same time.
And then the one police story where the police officer, he's a corrupt police officer.
That's my favorite story.
Where he's like painted into the wall and stuff and everything. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I really dig. That's one of my favorite like horror anthologies, I would think, man. The first.
Like we said, I just love how it wraps around where these guys don't realize that they were already dead and they're already in hell. And just watching it all play out for them and everything.
That's what makes this another reason, because one of the reasons I was talking about I love this movie was because of the way they would be able to do like the hood style movie with horror movie. Yeah. But like the wraparound stories, to me, if they're not dope or if you're lazy with them or if they don't even do them, like that takes away from the anthology part with me. Yeah. Like I like the whole wraparound story being a part of it, because it keeps you like waiting to the end to see how
it all comes together. Yeah.
And that's one thing about Tales from the Hood that's dope, like what you were saying when you find out at the end that Clarence Williams III is Satan.
Yeah. Well, like Chance said earlier, it all comes back. It cuts out all the needless stuff in a movie that you have. The time filler, we'll just call it.
Trim the fat.
They trims off the fat, and you just get solid stuff throughout the whole thing. Yeah. But Tales from the Hood is got to be up there. It's definitely top 5.
Not for sure. Dead or Alive.
Yeah. Do what now?
Oh, you said top 5. I said Dead or Alive. Oh. Top 5, Dead or Alive.
Yeah. And then you have one from 1983. Have you ever seen this one? Twilight Zone, the movie.
I have not seen that one.
It's a good one. It's got quite a few segments in it. They're shorter. Steven Spielberg directs one of the segments in it, but the one that I've only seen it once, and the segment that sticks out to me, it's a segment called 20,000 Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Has John Lithgow in it. Mm-hmm. They're on a plane, and he looks out the window and sees like this little creature out on the wing. Yeah, and nobody else sees it and all that stuff, and he starts going crazy mid-flight and all that stuff. And everybody thinks he's seeing things, and kind of like what this new video going around Twitter and TikTok right now, but this lady seeing the lizard person on the plane. Have you seen that, Chance?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, this lady got kicked off a flight because she thought a person on the flight was a lizard person.
I was seeing the lady freaking out. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, well, so what they find, obviously it wasn't a lizard person.
Yeah, I think she was just extremely intoxicated.
After watching Final Destination, I probably would have followed her off the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk, like speaking of that, like everybody, thanks for tuning in to the last episode with Final Destination franchise. Yeah. That one got a little sketchy when the power was shaking in and out, man.
When I got home, I found a tree in the side of my yard. A tree fell
Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
Was it a full moon that night?
No, it was just a real bad storm that knocked out the power. And remember, because it was raining like fucking crazy, lightning.
Big old fat rain. Shot
Man,
Bubba Gump.
it was insane, scary.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? I've never seen anything Twilight Zone related. Not
I've
an
never watched
episode
any
of
of
the
the.
show,
No.
not that movie. Now I kind of want to watch that movie because you said it was pretty.
Yeah,
good.
the movie's super out of print. The Blu-ray is. Forget who I got it off of. I got like a bootleg copy of it, but after, like John Lithgow, he like shoots out the window of the plane. And when they finally make an emergency landing, everybody thinks he's crazy, but they go and check the plane and they find claw marks on the wing and where it's been, where the little monster was trying to sabotage the plane and all that stuff. It was really crazy.
Is the Twilight Zone movie like? Is it in black and white like the shows?
No, it's in full color.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. If you can find it streaming wise, it's a fun
Probably
check out.
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, 1985. There's one. This one was okay. 1985. You had Cat's Eye. Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
A youngster, Drew Barrymore, before she got grown up and got her own TV show and became absolutely batshit crazy.
Yep.
She is insane. She's an insane person. Have you watched any clips from her show?
I have not.
Just if you want to laugh, just YouTube search Drew Barrymore show. I'm sure there's clips of it. There's some very cringe like interview.
Wasn't she married to Tom Green?
Yeah.
She was.
Shout out to Tom Green. Dude.
That
My bum is on my lips.
That show was out there.
Oh yeah, Tom Green was great. He was the first. I think we can safely say Tom Green was the first ever internet troll.
Yeah,
Because that's all he did on his show was troll people.
Yeah.
Interview him with dog shit on his microphone.
Yes,
Go to like the pizza. He was the first troll on the internet.
That is a very good point. And then I remember, what was he? Road Trip? The movie Road
great
Trip.
movie. Yeah. Where he like wants to feed the mouse to the
snake and it just won't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Drew Barrymore married to Tom Green. What's Tom Green doing now?
He's like going out. He still does. He was doing like comedy stuff, but he's like living out like in the wilderness. He'll just live out of his like. He's got so much money, but he'll like vlog and podcast. Like he loves nature, so him and his dog go out to like
Boom.
Yeah, they just always are vlogging out in the wilderness somewhere. He's been on Rogan a few times.
Man, just living his life. Tom Green. Shout out Tom Green, man.
Shout out Tom Green, man. But Cat's Eye was okay. The only one I really remember from Cat's Eye was the Ledge story. Did y'all see the Cat's Eye?
Man, I watched it once and it just was a snooze fest for me.
Yeah, it wasn't great. The only thing that stands out to me was that one about the ledge, like someone on the ledge or something.
Well,
Someone.
Get it out there. Summertime.
Here we go. Okay. In the ledge, the cat is picked up by a Cresner, a shady Atlantic City millionaire who forces tennis pro to walk a narrow ledge around his high-rise penthouse apartment. That was what I remember.
Okay.
And it was like the whole story was like revolves around that cat, and it's trying to find. I think it was Drew Barrymore's character. It was trying to find or something, but
It beats me. It is another one of those Stephen King ones that just.
Well, speaking of snooze fest, Tales from the Crypt, 1972.
That was a Screen Factory put that out in a double feature. And
that other one that's on there with it's not no
It's-
better. Isn't it an anthology too?
I forget what it. But they were both very forgettable. Very forgettable. I knew it was from 1972, but I was still going into it, maybe thinking we get a little bit Crypt Keeper. No, it's nothing like the show. Because I remember that one. It's like a bunch of people and they're at a cemetery, and then all the little stories are about each different person. It was but it's another one of those early 70s that's just no bueno for me. It's just
there was another the other
Vault of Horror.
Vault of Horror.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
And
yeah,
it was
that
another
was
one
a snooze fest.
It was another one that was an older one. Let's see if I can find the year that one was out.
I want to say probably in the 70s as well, but
it would have had to have been.
it's just not my decade of movies. The 70s are rough for me. Were you a 70s movie fan, Chance?
No, I don't like too many 70 movies.
80s.
73 was Vault of Horror.
Yeah.
So a year after.
Boom. Get out of here with that one. And then now, do you want to talk about probably one of our favorite horror anthologies out there too? A more recent one in Southbound.
Oh, dude. We've talked about it before.
In the underrated, I think in the underrated episode.
Yeah.
But it's one that wraps itself around probably the best in a horror anthology, because each story picks up pretty much where the last one left off. And the first story is probably the one that sticks out to me the most with the two guys, where the end story wraps around back to the two guys.
Yeah.
Because they're come to find out they're actually pieces of shit.
Oh yeah, total pieces of shit.
But where the one guy gets at the beginning, he thinks he has a picture of his daughter, and he thinks he found her in the house and everything. But it's just a constant loop of him being in purgatory, pretty much, of looking for his daughter,
dude.
Which would be, oh my God, I cannot imagine. Just
Southbound is so dope, bro. And it's like not talked about. It never even got a big release.
We don't even have, we got a DVD release of it.
Yeah, never got a theatrical release.
I believe it's from Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up on IMDb if you want to talk about it a little bit more. I'm gonna look up because I'm curious to see the budget of that movie, dude.
It couldn't have been much.
But I know one thing, dude. That freaking wraparound story with those like those
the
things
floating,
are terrifying.
The floating skeletons,
yeah.
the floating skeletons, which is pretty much they're pretty much demons. The whole movie that are pulling people into hell, because that's hence the name Southbound.
Well, yeah, and every story is based around somebody's biggest fear.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And
it's 5 different stories,
and it has some the one where the guy's driving the car. He's talking on the phone and driving, and he hits the girl.
Yeah. And
there's no emergency vehicle, no emergency crews can get to him, and he has to perform the emergency surgery on the girl.
Yeah.
In the hospital. It's very graphic. But man, is it effective. And then, like I said, the last segment where it wraps around with the two guys. I don't want to spoil too much of this movie because
Chance needs to
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you haven't. A lot of people haven't seen this one, but it is so good.
You can watch it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can watch it on Tubi for free right
on
now.
Tubi?
As of right now.
I reckon a couple episodes we recommend a movie to you that you will talk about later in another episode that you became a fan of. This one I think you will like just as much.
It is so dope.
It's
that first
effective.
story though, when is that the first story? The one when the girls have the flat tire?
No, that's like the third story.
Okay.
The first story is when the two guys are they're being stalked by the they're being followed by the skeleton
creatures.
That's
considered
and everything, and it's pretty much the wraparound story of the last story and everything. It's I like how they flipped it up like that in this one.
No, dude, it's so well made, man. It doesn't show the budget of it, but it only did like $25,000 in the box office because it didn't get a theatrical release.
Yeah,
but I bet you money they shot that for $100 million.
Yeah, it's super effective.
It doesn't feel like a low budget film. It feels like just like a regular. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if there's one movie that I could, most of everybody's seen Trick or Treat. If there's one movie that I could recommend off this list, it would be Southbound.
Yeah, we've talked about this so much. And what was crazy is that, dude, is whenever I got that movie randomly, when I worked at Best Buy in like 2015, 2016, whenever it was, and it was just a random DVD that came out that week, and we would get random horror movies, and I bought it because it was an anthology. And I bought it and watched it. I was like, dude, this shit was terrifying.
Yeah, I bought a rental copy from Hastings when they were going out of business.
Yeah.
And that's when I bought it. And then you and Jordan watched it together, and it's just absolutely sold on that one.
Yeah, dude.
If there's one movie I can recommend off this list, it's Southbound.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I would agree with that completely.
And the next little batch of movies, which we're not going to go too into detail about the VHS because that's going to be a future episode.
Yes, we're going to do an entire franchise video on VHS. I know that because we just watched
99,
VHS 99, which was okay.
Yeah, it's okay. 2 is my absolute favorite. 2 is from top to bottom is the best movie out of those.
1 and 2. Man, like
2 is just every story in 2 is great. It's like they
never were able to recreate the magic that was VHS 1 and 2. Like,
no,
Viral was not good. 94 was okay. 99 was okay. And again, we're not going to go deep into detail on the stories, but like we'll talk more about it in the franchise review. And I think they're working on another one. Like you said, it was.
It's another. I think 80. It's one based in the 80s.
Hell yeah, I'm all for that. But like VHS 1 and 2 are
It's
great.
another one. Chance, I think we've talked about this too. You've never seen the VHS.
They're all on
movies.
my Vudu, bro. Except, well, not 99, but it's on Shudder.
Yeah,
the
it's on
VHS
Shudder.
1,
I think-
2, 3, and 94 on my Vudu. You should check them out.
I was just reading. I think the same people made those VHS and Southbound.
Oh, okay. That's
Really?
from the same
Yep.
people. Okay.
Mhm. Same
Oh,
filmmakers.
dope.
So that makes
Yep.
perfectly sense. Why, especially I've talked about VHS 2 in the alien scene multiple times, and then that cult story where holy
Chance, you got to strap on your boots for VHS 2.
Yeah,
the cult story is
it's absolutely insane.
yeah, dude, it's shocking, bro. Like, it's bad.
Is that like a found footage?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of my I love the GoPro one with that one with the zombies,
zombies,
in the GoPro.
Zombie! I can't say here's zombies.
But yeah,
RP
VHS 2 is up there. It's in my top 3 of horror anthologies.
Oh, for sure.
It's so effective. It's so terrifying. And as a grown adult, that movie terrifies me.
Yeah, and then this next one is he's my favorite horror director. I like this one okay, but I only like one story.
I wasn't
Body
a
Bags.
fan. I wasn't a fan of Body Bags.
Body Bags 93s when it dropped. I like Carpenter like being like in the whole wraparound story. I thought that was kind of cool. And I've spoken about this countless times on this channel. Every time I talk about Body Bags, I say I wish the gas station had its own full length movie
Yeah.
because the gas station is the only story that I really like.
Yeah.
And it's got the Carradine dude from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He's yeah. But like the one with Stacy Keach, the one with like the hair,
Yeah.
and then the one with the eye. Is that Mark Hamill?
I think it is Mark Hamill. Yeah.
Let me look. I'll look it up, make sure, because I don't want to.
I'd never heard of that one until I picked it up from Screen Factory and everything, and then I watched it. And I was like, man, this is John Carpenter.
It was 3 short movies. 3 shorts. It was
I just didn't say.
Toby Hooper directed the eye segment.
Oh, okay.
John Carpenter did the gas station and hair.
Oh, okay.
So it was 3 different ones, and you had let's see.
I just wasn't sold on it. It fell flat for me. Chance, have you ever seen Body Bags or ever heard of it?
I started watching it, but never did go
Couldn't
through
finish
with it. Mm-mm. But
I've noticed.
after
We've
looking
talked about that before. If Chance loses interest in the movie, he's done with it. He ain't going to finish it out.
Nope.
He ain't going to gut through it.
Nope.
If he loses interest in the movie, you're cut off
Yeah.
and never watched again.
but
Yeah, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Okay.
after looking at the cast, I might need to just
Don't
check
do
it out.
Don't you won't?
Just watch. I say watch it just to say that you watched it. It's not terrible or nothing.
At least for the gas station.
The first one is really dope. But I just wasn't a big fan of the eye and the and hair like those two.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of just corny. You know what I'm saying? They're not scary or nothing. But I guess he was just trying something different. You know?
Yeah. Like Halloween 3.
Yeah. Well, don't use that
Well,
to sell it.
I may
not gonna
have
watch
to skip
ever. Shout out Halloween 3. But now I guess we'll just kind of just power. Where are we sitting at, Chance? About 30?
43 minutes.
Oh, damn.
okay.
All that banter is what
Yeah, that banter.
that banter. So we're just going to kind of not maybe speed through some of these. These are just ones that
We've watched and everything. A Christmas Horror Story from 2015. Super dope Christmas anthology horror movie.
that's RLJ one.
Yeah, RLJ. It's got some pretty cool. I remember the whole Santa with the elves scene with that one, and the Krampus, where Santa is fighting Krampus.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. It's a fun one. If you ever, I think it's on Shudder, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, around Christmas time, if you like watching Christmas horror movies, that's one to throw into your list.
Yeah. Are you a Christmas horror fan, Chance?
Not too much.
Yeah. You
A
try
lot
to
of people
eat-
like to cut it off when.
or they like to
like
separate. They don't
Black Christmas. I like, but like Krampus, not a big fan of Krampus.
What about Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one?
Yeah,
Okay.
That one's. I fucking love the
Yep.
first Silent Night, Deadly Night. Bro.
Yes, especially
It
getting
is
to watch
80s
them cut
cheese. It's like,
all the way.
bro.
We got
That's
this will
another-
be a future episode too. Christmas horror movies.
Absolutely.
We've got a whole list of Christmas horror
Absolutely.
movies that we can get to. But yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, not so much.
Garbage Day. You know what I mean?
If you want to watch the first movie all over again.
I want to put myself through all of the Talent Night Deadly Nights, bro.
We got the collection. We need to this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I watched it. I've watched the second one. That's good enough for.
No, we ain't got to watch them again. But I think
Bill
like
Mosley.
5 of them.
Yeah, I think Bill Mosley is in the third one. If I'm not
I'm
mistaken.
sure they're terrible.
And then I think Mickey Rooney is maybe in one of them.
Shout out Mickey Rooney.
I think.
Shout out Mickey Tettleton.
Yeah.
Solid baseball player for the Detroit Tigers in the '90s with Cecil Fielder, Alan Trammell.
Whoa! Bring out the hot list. In
hell
old
yeah.
Tiger Stadium.
Shout out Cecil Fielder. Was it Cecil or Cecil?
I called him Cecil.
I did too. I just said Cecil, so I lied.
And
Cecil Fielder, Cecil Fielder.
And his son Prince.
Prince Fielder, yeah, beast. But yeah, Ghost Stories is the next one.
Snooze fest.
So here's my beef.
It was
with
more
Ghost
of like an
Stories.
artsy fartsy.
Well,
horror anthology.
it had the one guy from Fargo.
Yeah.
It's a dope actor. I forgot dude's name.
And then it didn't
Chance,
have
could you Google that for me?
what's his name?
It's Ghost Stories 2017.
Was Frodo or not Frodo? One of the hobbits from the Hobbit movie. Ain't he in it too? Maybe.
You're barking up the wrong tree talking about the
I watched
Hobbit
it one time and I watched.
Well,
I
it's
wasn't
just
like
so damn.
It was a
It's
snooze
one
fest.
of them. I'm saying it convoluted. It's confused. Remember how it got all like
Yeah, it was a snooze fest. It was
multi
just
like layered and
too artsy for me. I'll admit it. I'm not the biggest artsy fartsy fan, and when it comes to movies,
with me it depends, bro. Like some of it I hate it, and then some of it I actually will like. Because people consider Hereditary. Well, hang on. Hereditary. They say that's an artsy fartsy.
Did you see?
I couldn't say it right.
That's about the only one I get down with.
Yeah. Do you have any desire to watch that new Ari Aster movie?
No, I'm not a like it.
I'll never forget sitting in the theater.
We'll talk about that. That's a discussion for the next episode because that'll be on the next episode.
Oh, okay.
That maybe
okay.
will be on the next episode.
Yeah.
That's a discussion for future right there.
but,
we will get to that.
Yeah.
That's a hold that thought.
Yeah. So Ghost Stories was just okay.
Yeah. Two Evil Eyes was terrible. I think Stephen King had something to do with that, and maybe Clive Barker.
I remember having high hopes for that when Blue Underground put it out.
Oh God!
And then I was just like, because there was some like, I don't know, a lot of people like it, but it was just kind of blah to me. Wasn't anything special about. How many stories was in that one?
When I say 3 or 4,
I thought it was 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I was wrong, but this next one I do like. This next one, me and Jordan watched it. And I've watched it a few times, but I remember me and Jordan watched it on a hangout years ago. From Whisper to a Scream.
Yep, got your boy Vincent. Shout out Vincent Price.
Yeah, and I want to say it had another title called The Offspring or something.
Or Offering, not Offering. I'm thinking all Offerings.
But it was
another
shot
classic.
in Tennessee as well.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Fun fact. Where's it at, Chance?
Ding.
But I dug from Whisper to a Scream. It's mid '80s, and like I said, you can't go wrong when you got narration going on from Vincent Price. I mean, just one of the most. His movies are super dated for me, but he's a horror icon. You'd say, I guess, wouldn't you?
No, for sure, 100%.
So.
Yeah. I'm looking it up here. I know it was 4 stories, and it takes place in Tennessee. I was trying to see what that.
I didn't pay attention to none of that.
What that other name of it was. I'm pretty sure.
The Offspring?
The Offspring. Okay, so I knew it had. Because the only reason I knew that's because on Scream Factory, like the artwork was reversible.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yep. That's one that. Did I pick that one up? I watched it once. I forget how I watched it, though.
I know that Jeff Burr directed that, and he also directed. He directed Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw 3, which is not.
That's not his.
He also
saving
directed
grace.
Stepfather 2,
Okay, that's not bad.
Pumpkinhead 2. He was a sequel guy. Puppet Master 4 and 5.
Okay, hello. Chance seems like he was a Puppet Master fan.
Yeah, I like the Puppet Masters.
Fun fact: I've seen the first one and
The Littlest Reich.
The Littlest Reich. How many of them are there? 5 or 6?
There's like 10. There's like we're over 10 of those.
But to be fair,
That and Wishmaster mixed up.
Yeah.
to be fair, if you saw the first one, you probably seen all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
have you
Littlest
ever,
Reich's its own.
Have you ever seen the Littlest Reich one?
I haven't watched that.
Oh, it's probably got one of the most outrageous kills ever. in a movie.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't want to ruin it because we might get kicked off of YouTube if I even explain what this death was.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
So next up is one called Nightmares from '83.
Never saw that one.
I like this one okay. It was 4 stories, and one of them was like Emilio Estevez, it was like a video game story or something. I remember.
Now, did you say Screen Factory put that out?
Screen Factory did put it out just as a regular blue. Okay. I remember the stories being okay. The last one was cool up until the last one was about like a rat, and the story itself was dope. But as soon as it shows the rat, bruh, it is so ridiculous looking.
Not like the rat from VHS, huh?
No, it is the most non-threatening, ridiculous-looking rat ever.
Is it
and
Stuart
it just
Little?
ruins the story. It's like that, yeah. I mean,
It's like
terrible.
they bring out a Stuart Little.
It's almost like that, but I remember it being okay. Like,
Shout
it
out
wasn't-
Stuart
it wasn't
Little.
terrible or nothing.
Yeah, that's one I haven't. And then we got one All Hallows Eve from 2013, which gives us the introduction to Art the Clown.
Yeah,
And now the movie itself, not that great, but it is not David Howard Thornton that's playing Art the Clown in this one. But it's you gotta have it on the list because it's our introduction to art.
yeah, no, for sure. No, that was the only thing about. I'm trying to find this rat to show you.
But the other cool thing about oh my God, that's Stuart Little.
I told you,
That's
it's
Stuart
terrible,
Little.
dude.
It's really Stuart Little. Or
It's terrible. Yeah.
but the only other saving grace for All Hallows Eve is that it took place on Halloween night.
Yeah, and I didn't even watch that until after we watched Terrifier.
Yeah.
When we found out that Art the Clown originated there, and then I just remember us watching it and being like, this isn't any good. And Art the Clown wasn't the same.
He's not the
didn't
more
play it as
brutal.
well.
He's more of like he's pretty much the buffer in between the stories but it's not David Howard Thornton. You don't get the mannerisms like you do in Terrifier and Terrifier 2. The makeup's a little different, but like I said, it's the introduction to art.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that was in 2013, and then Terrifier came out in 2019?
Yeah, it was something like that. Late
So
2010.
it's crazy that it took that long for him to be like, hey, let's just give him his own movie, and then boom, here we are.
Yeah. This next one I haven't seen.
I've never heard of it before. It was on a bunch of people's list, but that's Campfire Tales from 1991.
Okay.
So if anybody's ever seen that, throw it down in the comments below. Let us know if that's one we definitely need to check out. Sounds cool because Campfire Tales.
Ooh, yeah.
Spooky. And it was from 1991. So
Yeah.
and then one that you have to add in here too. It's a TV show, but you had to have Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, in here. Did you watch that growing up? I didn't have HBO growing up.
I never watched Tales from the Crypt like growing up. I think because the Crypt Keeper kind of creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just never watched it.
That we couldn't. We didn't have HBO.
We didn't either.
So
I always had opportunities when I was older, like in my teen years, to like rent the VHS of like the episodes or whatever they used to have at the video store, and I just never would. I do dig like the Demon Knight movie, and I think Bordello of Blood's okay. The movies that they did, but I never watched the show.
Well, you got a bunch of people that came in. I think a lot of big name actors.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, back in the days, like
I never watched it either because, like I said, we didn't have HBO. We didn't have a huge satellite dish.
For a while, it was edited, but it came on like regular TV, but it was late at night. Yeah, it was like,
okay, but they had to cut it. They had to
probably
cut some
USA
stuff out.
Because
USA used to do the up all night stuff.
yeah, because
Joe
later
Hopkins.
on, I got the DVDs and stuff later on, and it was totally different. Yep.
Did you like the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
cool.
watched it growing up.
That's cool.
The dude that did the voice for the Crypt Keeper, he does the horror convention route, and he makes a killing. He's always got a line.
There's a cult. There's definitely a cult for the Tales from the Crypt for sure.
I keep headbutting this microphone. I'm just
It was on 7 seasons, so it had to have been doing something.
yeah.
This next one was terrible.
What Dead Time Stories?
It's so bad. Like,
missed out on
I didn't
it.
even finish watching it. Scream Factory put it out as well, and it was a horror anthology. So I was like, hell yeah, and I grabbed it up and watched like the first 2 stories, and it
Fell flat.
It was just terrible. Like the acting is god awful. The stories weren't any good. I didn't even finish it, so I can't really speak a lot on it other than that part, just for what I watched. But it was not good.
Yeah.
But people like it though somehow. I don't know how, but like I wasn't a fan of it.
Well, and then another one, After Midnight. You've seen that one too, haven't you?
That one wasn't bad. That's another one Scream Factory put out. I didn't even know that was an anthology when I bought it originally because it doesn't give that vibe off. Like it just looks like a regular horror movie. It's all based around, I want to say like a college or something. But it was okay. It wasn't nothing like outstanding. But yeah, it was okay.
And the ABCs of Death that I've been told to stay away from. I've never seen any of the ABCs of Death.
I watched the first one and I was so angry when it got to the L. When it got to the L story, I turned it off after that because it involves like a child.
I've heard it's bad.
Dude. I don't know how they got it made.
Yeah, I see, like stuff like.
Dude, it was
yeah
disturbing, bro.
I can't watch that stuff, and
I turned it off. And there's been sequels. I refuse to watch anything.
Yeah, I think there's like 2 of those movies, but I almost picked them up one time, and then I think it was you that said no, don't. That's not. Well, and some of them, know my taste of movies, and you're like no, that's not you.
Some of them are like a minute and a half long.
Yeah,
like they're like so stupid. Like it was not because it's like a different director for every letter.
Oh, okay.
It's like A is for, whatever. And then it's like, but yeah, man.
Yeah, I've heard it's bad. I've heard it's like terrible as in like terrible that somebody would think of something to do that in a movie.
The story for L, it was called Libido or something. It was, no, absolutely not.
Get out of here.
The next one, Tales of Halloween, which is kind of like
it's a trick-or-treat.
Great value trick-or-treat.
Exactly.
It's like a Sam's Choice trick-or-treat.
We bought it. It had that big. Remember that big box
It was like
set?
a big Kahuna package.
Yeah.
I was like, God, it came with a daggum Bucky's got gift card and
you got
shit in there.
All kinds of goodies with it. It's like, dude, I just want the movie. That's all I need.
Some fucking Cracker Jacks and a goddamn mood ring.
It was your dollar store. It was your dollar store version of Trick or Treat.
Yeah, it was okay.
The saving factor was that it's a Halloween based around Halloween and everything.
Am I tripping, or was that the same company that put out the first Terrifier? Did we buy that off the same website, or was that a different website?
It may have been. No, I think it's from the same company that put out those 1031 movies.
That's what it was. Which was another.
That's another horror anthology that we weren't a fan of.
That 1030. Now I haven't. Have we seen?
I haven't seen the second. I think there's 3 of them now.
We've only watched the first.
We only watched the first one.
And the other one that we watched, Candy Corn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Wasn't good either. Remember? So
the mask looked cool.
Yeah,
but the movie
we were real big on real hype about it. And the packaging and the presentation of 1031, like with the comic book thing. They're kind of playing off Creepshow.
Yeah, it was just
but the first one was just. People love it though.
Yeah, people. It's very low budget.
And it's bland. Like that newer vibe.
Yeah,
which we're not fans of, like newer like horror movies. Mm-hmm. The woke horror movie, whatever you want to call them.
But, with all that good shit. Not good shit.
This next one, Holidays, was another one that I watched. I don't remember a lot of it. It had to do with like random holidays, like
Mother's Day, Easter, and all that. That's one. Yeah, I remember you saying that it was terrible, and I never. Yeah,
it was just kind of whatever.
I think it came on Netflix or something.
It was a Netflix one, yeah.
And then one I haven't seen. I think it's a RLJ. It's the Mortuary Collection. It's a newer horror anthology. I have not seen it, but I've heard good things about it. So definitely want to check that one out. And then Scare Package from 2019.
Yeah, I watched that one. It was on Shudder. It was not good at all. It was just whenever I was watching those. That was the year I want to say I watched like 118 movies from 2019 or something. And I was just watching everything. You know what I mean? Right now, as of right now in 2023, I've seen like 12 movies.
Yeah,
because when we're doing this pod, like I've been
going back and watching some
old stuff, like, but I haven't watched a lot of the new stuff. But Jordan and Tony gave me like a little short list of stuff I needed to watch. So, because we'll definitely have to do an episode at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do an episode at the end of the year for our favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, so we'll
because this is probably the most already this year that I've watched of this year, like of a certain year. Like,
and you never keep a list.
I never keep a list.
Me and Jordan do, but you won't ever really bother with them. But
I'm actually doing one this year. What's it? I've seen 13.
Okay, so yeah.
That's more. Usually, I'm right there. Like when it comes to new movies,
you just watch like.
But this year, 2023, is turning out to be a great year for movies coming out this year. We got Mission Impossible that's coming out in a couple weeks. We got Oppenheimer that comes out at the end of this month that I'm super stoked for.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man.
That's horror anthologies for you.
Horror anthologies, man. We
Take them or leave them.
Yeah, some people aren't fans. We are fans of anthology movies. And there are some gems in this episode that we talked about. There's some ones that are poop, and then there's some that are just kind of in the middle.
That are just meh. And then, like I said, there's probably some that's going to be commented to us that are from the 70s and stuff that we didn't list that are just not our cup of tea.
Yeah.
Not that I drink tea.
I'd say if you had to give me a top to name my top three,
Yeah.
I would have Southbound as my number one
Solid.
anthology.
Solid.
VHS 2. I love VHS 1, but so a couple of the stories in there are kind of
VHS 2 is just solid.
Yeah, I'd say Southbound, VHS 2, and
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, or I like Creep Show too, but like
it's hard to make
just
selecting three out of those.
Trick or Treat, Creep Show would be probably in that third spot.
Yeah, Southbound would be number one. Southbound and VHS 2 would be right there, 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I mean they're solid as they get. Even just for horror movies, they're great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
but yeah, man, y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Please
be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Listen to us on the audio format. Also, we have an official Over the Top with Chad and Tony Instagram page. The link will be added to our links in the description. Y'all be sure to go follow us on Instagram. We're always posting daily on there, whether it's pictures or shorts from the episodes. We're really starting to roll those out now.
Oh, yeah.
So, and thanks to Nixon Pro Media, thanks to Revolution One Media, and Trouble Spirits. Thank you, Chance. Thank you, Tony. We're having lots of fun doing this, man. We're going to keep pumping out these episodes for y'all. And y'all be sure to hit the comment section up. Let us know what your favorite anthologies were.
Yes, please do. And we out this motherfucker.